I wasn't expecting to make that video, but I have to because I have made a video, the last video that I published, talking about a situation that left me in disbelief and that shocked me about someone's behavior and, most importantly, accountability. Hi, I'm Manon, not Manu. If you're an English speaker, chances are you will call me Eva, and it's part of my last name, so that's totally fine. On this page, you will find conversation about business, entrepreneurial, mindset, lessons, mistakes, and I'll share what I learned along the way of being a French entrepreneur in Australia and building a life and business from scratch. Yesterday, the person called me to apologize, to say that he was sorry, really embarrassed and wrong. And we had a little bit of alcohol that day. Alcohol sometimes impacts people in a way that make them a different version of themselves, and also who really want to be judged about a mistake. Again, it's not about the broken glass, it's about accountability. We are human. We make mistakes. We might hurt people, disappoint people, forget things, get upset, get angry sometimes, but when we are able to recognize that and take accountability for that, it has so much power. It can change everything. It can rebuild relationship. It can rebuild trust. I think it's so powerful to be able to admitting that we are wrong. And in his case, especially a few days after, because he could have just never called me again. I wouldn't have called him either. He could just have disappeared, never talk to me again. He didn't do that. After that, I was really impressed. So, of course, now I have reconsidered having conversation with him and having him in the podcast when the podcast will be ready. At the moment, as you can see, there is a dinner table behind because tomorrow is my best friend's birthday. So we are going to celebrate her birthday and have a brunch. Anyway, that is totally not the subject today. Character isn't revealed because you've made a mistake. Character is revealed by what you do after you've made one. And I've been thinking, why is it so hard sometimes for people to apologize? They might think it makes them weak. I think it's the total opposite. I think it takes strength to apologize, to put our ego and pride aside and apologize, meaning, okay, I agree that I am not perfect. Just simply agreeing that we are all able to make mistakes. Sometimes we're wrong. And this takes confidence as well. The confidence to know that we are not defined by our mistakes, but by the way we react to it and by the way we learn and grow from them. One thing I have recently learned about accountability, and it's funny because all this accountability thing came at the same time. So a few weeks ago, I also shared that something happened that made me really sad in a way. And I didn't feel like posting, but I still did it, but I wasn't really like, whoa, so happy. What happened with that situation is that there were so many misunderstandings that included friends, clients, people in my business, and it was a little bit messy. So what I've done is that I apologized straight away to everyone for the misunderstanding and for my wrongs. Nobody else apologized, but I did. And then you know what I did after that? So the next day after the little mess, I apologized for my part for not handling the situation as best as I could. And then I detached. And for the last 2-3 weeks, I really focused on myself, doing my things, doing the things that I love doing, which is starting to talk with you and share my journey, building my business, building myself. And I genuinely, for the first time, really understood what it meant and what it felt when people say, pour in your own care first and detach and put yourself first. I think I did for so many years because I was doing the things for myself, my study, my business, but I was constantly also overlooking the fact that I needed to be there, do that for other people. And I really felt lately that the only person I need to show up to every day is only myself. So I detached. After 2 weeks, the real person that caused the drama was out, and the people that did not apologize to me apologized to me. Anyway, that is not even the point. The point is that when I apologized, I felt lighter. I felt like I was done with the situation. The situation was on the side. I could literally detach, do my thing, focus on myself. You know, when they say, feel the feeling, don't become it. If you don't apologize, I feel there is always a part of yourself that is thinking about what has been done, what has been said, the regret. There is this uncomfortable feeling inside of you. I feel like when you apologize, it might be hard, but it's like popping a balloon. You feel then so light after that because, well, you know you own it, so you can move on. And this is extremely freeing and powerful. So if you've been hesitating or meaning to apologize to someone, maybe this is your sign to do it. But there is one other thing as well, is that when you apologize, don't do it for the other person. Do it for yourself. Do it to free yourself from that situation, because the day passes. Every day is a blessing, but it's also a challenge. It's easier to be unhappy than to be happy. It's easier to be unhealthy than to be healthy. So if you do it, apologize for yourself, because you know that tomorrow something else might happen. Also, depend the degree of situation, you might not want to apologize. If you do not want to apologize, do not apologize. But if there is a part of you that maybe want to apologize, maybe this is your sign. Apologizing also without expectation, I think that is so important. Without the expectation that the person is gonna accept your apology or come back as if nothing happened. Because we might think, oh, I apologize, like I made a step, so the person have to mirror that, right? It's not like that. That's why if you are ready to apologize, you have to be ready to do it for yourself, to then just be able to detach from this situation with gracefulness and to think to yourself, I have done everything I could. Even if I have made a mistake, I own it, because I'm not perfect, but I recognize it. If someone accepts your apology, great. If not, you can lighter your heart and walk this world, walk through this journey with a lighter heart, because feelings are poisons. When we can just let them out, let them go, it's so much better. But also, apologizing to someone is not the same as forgiving someone. I remember when I was with my ex, he did something, he apologized, and I was like, you know what, I am gonna give him my forgiveness the next day. But then after a few days, I regretted giving him my forgiveness. Too soon. He didn't deserve it. That's where there is always a fine line between, and a balance between things, because it's great to be positive and to be loving, but there is another thing, is toxic positivity. There is a right balance in things, and I think it's so hard to find that balance. It's constantly challenging, and you kind of fall on this side and you kind of fall on this side, and constantly trying to find the right balance. So yeah, I remember when my ex did apologize, then I was too soon to forgive. I should have respected my own feeling and took a few days to take on his apology. Regardless, for the apology, he did apologize, and that was for him. If he really loved me, he would have respected, and I know he would, that it took me a week, a month, or maybe that I can't forgive. But at least he owned his mistake. Well, that said, none of us will want our character to be defined by one moment. We all have moments we're proud of. We all have moments we would happily erase. What matters is what we choose to do next, and that's growth. Growth isn't never falling. Growth is getting back up with more wisdom than before. And I think people deserve credit when they choose humility over pride. So that phone call changed everything. And it reminded me that one apology can rebuild trust. And one honest moment can completely shift the direction of a relationship. And I think that's powerful. So if there is something to take away from this video, I would say not to aim to become someone that is never wrong, but to aim to become someone who is not afraid to make things right. Because we won't remember every mistake that has been made, but we remember how people handle it. And I hope as my platform grows, as my business grows, I never become too proud to say those words. I was wrong, I apologize. Because I think those words have built more trust, healed more relationship, and opened more doors than pride ever could.